1973. A time when horror was changing. William Friedkin's The Exorcist became an instant classic, but the masterpiece we know could have looked very different. Warner Brothers wanted big-name stars. Friedkin wanted raw authenticity. The result was a chaotic casting process where Oscar winners and Hollywood royalty were passed over for lesser-known, yet arguably perfect talent. Let's look at the alternate history of the scariest movie ever made. The role of the desperate actress Chris MacNeil ultimately went to Ellen Burstyn, who claimed she was destined for it. However, producers approached three A-list titans first. Audrey Hepburn, she was offered the part but agreed only if it was filmed in Rome. Anne Bancroft, she was in consideration but dropped out after discovering she was pregnant. Jane Fonda, she was approached but didn't take the role. Finally, Carol Burnett was considered as Friedkin saw immense dramatic range in her. But the studio vetoed a comedic actress taking on such a dark drama. The heart of the film is Father Karras, played by playwright Jason Miller. But before Miller was discovered in a Broadway play, the studio and director struggled to fill this role. Jack Nicholson was considered one of the first choices, but Friedkin felt he was too recognizable. Paul Newman was reportedly interested. Most notably, Stacy Keach was actually signed and set to play Karras. But after Friedkin saw Miller, he insisted on buying out Keach's contract to cast the unknown playwright, believing he truly understood the character's spiritual crisis. Max von Sydow delivered a chilling performance as the elderly father Merrin. However, the studio wanted to pull in a massive draw for this pivotal role. Warner Bros. Vigorously wanted Marlon Brando. Friedkin immediately vetoed the idea, stating he didn't want the film to become a Brando movie. He wanted it to be about the story, not the star. Blatty had originally envisioned Paul Scofield in the role before settling on the iconic Swedish actor. Finding a 12-year-old to play Regan was the hardest challenge, with over 600 applicants. Denise Nickerson, Violet Beauregard from Willy Wonka, was offered the role, but her parents pulled her out after reading the disturbing script. Pamela Ferdin, a TV veteran, was the studio's choice, but Friedkin thought she was too famous. Even a young Jamie Lee Curtis was approached, but her mother, Janet Leigh, refused to let her audition, calling the material too dark. In the end, Linda Blair's innocence made the horror of the possession all the more terrifying. It's a classic case of what if, but in hindsight it's hard to imagine anyone else bringing this nightmare to life. Thanks for watching.